In the news this week, a Queen's chaplain resigns from his post to defend the faith. A mother tells of her pain after her daughter smoked a legal high. And President Trump reinstates a pro-life piece of legislation. Hello. A chaplain to the Queen who criticised a Scottish Episcopal Church service where the Quran was read has stepped down, saying he must be free to defend the faith. Reverend Dr. Gavin Ashenden told The Times that the event at St Mary's Cathedral in Glasgow could be considered blasphemous. He then resigned from his post as Queen's chaplain, saying that defending Christ in public has led to calls for his association with the Queen to be ended. Because I think it a higher and more compelling duty to speak out on behalf of the faith than to retain a public honour which precludes me doing so at this time, I resigned my post. In an interview with BBC Radio 4, Ashenden reiterated that the Quran reading denying the Lordship of Christ should not have happened.
It should not happen in the Holy Eucharist, particularly a Eucharist whose main intention is to celebrate Christ, the Word made flesh, come into the world. There are a number of members of the congregation who have written open letters complaining of the profound upset they experienced as people, part of the Eucharistic community who'd come to worship Christ. So to have a reading from the Quran at that point was a fairly serious error for the Christian worshipping community.
Men can join the Girl Guides as leaders for the first time in its 107-year history, if they feel they've been born in the wrong body. New regulations mean that men who identify as women will be able to attend overnight excursions with girls as young as 7. They also said it would be unlawful to inform parents if this was to happen for their daughter. The Equality and Diversity policy has been slammed by parents and MPs. The Christian Institute's head of communications, Kieran Kelly, said the new regulations are a cause for concern.
This change is a real worry. It means that any man who says that they identify as a woman can become a Girl Guides leader. And that includes going away with young girls on residential trips without even the parents' knowledge that that's going on. I think everyone can see that this is going to put off an awful lot of parents from sending their children to the Girl Guides. I think it's going to cause a lot of unnecessary concern for the children themselves, and ultimately they're going to be the victims in this.
A mother whose teenage daughter was left in a coma for 2 days after smoking legal highs has told BBC Panorama of her trauma. Cheryl's daughter Sharon has now recovered, but the episode has had a dramatic effect on the family. Sharon told the programme what happened when she smoked a legal high at a party.
I started to feel, like, not myself, and it just set me looping. It's like someone's squeezing you. It's like a suffocating sensation, but you're not. You can breathe fine, but you're panicking because you don't know exactly what's going on in your body.
She later collapsed. Speaking to reporter Benjamin Zand, mum Cheryl explained what she saw.
What did you think was happening at that point?
At first I thought she was messing about until I saw her face. And I was screaming at her, "What have you taken?" And she couldn't even slur 2 words together. We laid her out on the floor in the living room while we waited for the doctors to arrive in the ambulance. And she just stopped. She stopped moving, stopped breathing.
What did you think was happening?
I thought she was dead.
Panorama was investigating the drugs in the months after a blanket ban was introduced by the government. Under the new law, dealers could face up to 7 years in prison. And finally, President Trump has reinstated a policy which prohibits organisations from promoting or providing abortions as a method of family planning overseas. Known as the Mexico City policy, it prevents US taxpayer money from being used by organisations which promote or participate in abortion. It will also ban these organisations from advocating pro-abortion laws in foreign countries. The move was welcomed by Russell Moore, president of the Southern Baptist Convention's Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission. This is a welcome step in the right direction, and my hope is that the president will continue to defend human dignity and hold the predatory abortion industry accountable. Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.